Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? On today's show, my curiosity went to social media. So I watched so many different videos, whether they were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, on and on. And, um, it was kind of a real eye opener in a lot of different ways. What people are talking about, what they're complaining about, what they like, what they don't like. It was interesting, and bravo for all of them for saying whatever it is that was important to them. But a couple of the things struck me, and the first one was I saw a bunch of them, a bunch of different, and I'm going to say there were between 30 and 40 out there, that these YouTubes were, and they were kind of exploding too. And they were saying, don't listen to baby boomers. I was shocked. I mean, I'm thinking, all of you have to have a grandma that's a baby boomer or something. And are you telling me that you're going to profess this love for your grandmother or grandfather and not listen to a word that they say? I don't, I brought this up in one other video, and I just, what I don't understand is the thought process there. Like, we have I'm 70, so I have gone through 7 different decades. I've had my children; they have children, so there's some generational stuff going on there, and I just think, how is it if we have survived this long and we live the type of life that we love, and we have, in my case, worked professionally and have been married a few times. uh, how is it that all of a sudden they don't feel that it's necessary to get advice or just even listen to our way of thinking about something? I mean, all you can do is ask for advice. It doesn't mean you have to take it. I mean, we're we've been around for a while. We know that you can give opinions, get opinions. It doesn't mean, and we're not asking that you listen to our opinions, and that's the way you have to do it. And if you don't, you're wrong. We don't look at you that way. So why is it that they're looking at us as, well, we're not going to listen to you, so why should we bother to listen? Well, you don't know. There may be, if you would listen, there may be something, one gem in something that we're saying that would bring you some kind of joy or some kind of understanding of what's going on out there in the world. I mean, we've lived through it all. I mean, and I moved out here to California when I was 35. And I don't want to go political, but I've watched California just start disintegrating and disintegrating. It's not that beautiful place where everybody wanted to go to. Everybody was excited if somebody went to California. It's not like that anymore. And I love it only because I love the weather, which is why a lot of people move out here. But you have to adapt. And if I'm going to live here, uh, I did want to move at one time. I did try and get all the kids to move to Arizona with me, but they were, in their 30s at the time, and they were at the peak or getting close to the peak of their professional careers. And they were married and their husbands were at that point, and so it was been very difficult for all of us to get up and move. And my life, I chose to stay here in California because of the love I have for my kids. I mean, they are my world. And I'm not going to deny that. And I'm not going to make light of it. They are my world. But, they listen. They don't always take my advice for sure, but, they listen. But it's just, I'm just thinking, all of these people out here, have you seen this? Have you listened to some of the social media about not listening to, because we're old? Well, you're a kid. I mean, I could throw that back at them. You're still a kid in our eyes. You haven't even, I don't even think that you really feel or get an understanding of life until you're in your 40s. So that was where I think, well, nowadays, do they think now that they're in their 40s, they just know everything? And if you think the internet is your answer to all, sure, you can ask questions about what's the interest rate on mortgages nowadays and all that kind of information you can get yourself. There's no doubt about it. But I've sold and bought houses throughout my life. It's like, let me let me help you with that. Let me tell you the steps on it. Let me walk through a house with you. That's and they did for the most part. So I'm not, I was totally ignored through all that. And plus, at one point in my life, a very young point in my life, I was a real estate agent too. I mean, not that things haven't changed, they changed. So, I'm not going to even pretend that I know it all out there in that world. But I was just shocked, though. I mean, I just couldn't believe that they're making video after video about not talking to seniors, not talking to baby boomers. And where are you getting your real knowledge from? The life experience knowledge. Is it Chat GPT? Um, sure, it can give you some, but it's not human. So it still isn't going to give you the feelings, the emotions that you have to have in some of the challenges, whether it's having kids, whether it's, buying a house, whether it's the job that you are after is the right job or the wrong job. And nobody, of course, can decide that. You have to decide that for yourself. But going into interviews, what do you do? How do you act? I hired and fired, unfortunately, people throughout my professional career. And there are certain things that we look for. So I don't know. I was just throwing it out there just because I think baby boomers have a wealth of information to give out, a lifetime of experience. And again, it's experience because we have gone through every single change. You may have grown up into a change, but we went through that change. We learned it and adapted to it, and we changed with it, and we gained the knowledge from it, just the same as you. Now, we may not be, say, the experts on cell phones that you are. I'm probably more proficient than any of my grandkids or um, than most because I worked on computers all my life. So I know all the basics, on up, like Excel and Word and PowerPoint and all those, and Teams and Micro Outlook, all of that stuff, where some seniors don't have that. But then guess what? That's not the questions you would ask them. It might be a question you could ask me if you're having trouble with some kind of an Excel program. I could probably help you. I mean, I love my budget. My budget's all on an Excel sheet, and it just subtracts and minuses and takes away and puts on. And um, I live for that. I mean, I always know where I am because of that. So there's certain advice we can give you. We can't give you everything because we haven't lived everybody's life out there and run into everything that other people have. But you know what? I've had my lows. I mean, I've had my real lows, and I've always come back. And I got hit with another low and I came back. I mean, it's like my reinventing one. You have to constantly reinvent yourself to stay up with the times and do what you do. I mean, even this YouTube channel, uh, the interesting part about this is the interest I had to start one because I said it was very similar to the jobs that I did, and I felt it worked for me really well. But in my family, the only other person who has a YouTube channel is my youngest youngest granddaughter, who just turned 11, and she's had it for a while now. And I'm not going to mention it because it's my granddaughter. But there's the youngest generation there, and then me, the oldest. I'm the oldest, of course, in our family. I'm basically the matriarch of this family. And I am the matriarch of this family. And I found it interesting. And I love watching my granddaughter's videos. She just does shorts, but they're pretty talented. But the other thing was, she was pretty impressed that all of a sudden I did this. She was kind of shocked. So don't underrate us baby boomers. We have uh, that ambitious and maybe even a workaholic type attitude about us, because of the way we were raised, and we respect the way that you were raised. And the knowledge that you can teach us, we accept. And we listen. And again, we may not take everything you say to us and do it, but we'll listen and maybe make some adjustments based on our knowledge. But just remember how wise you are now at this age. I mean, we have a lot of experience, a lot of it. And we're still, in our hearts, we're still young. I mean, I still feel young, and I know I'm not, but I still feel young. And I'm not ready to just sit on a chair and do nothing all day. I don't want that type of life. But that's for me. You pick the type of life that fits into you. And so I appreciate you listening to my little bit of a rant here, but I was shocked when I saw that. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. I love it if you've come back to watch, and if you're new, thank you for joining us today. My name is Connie. I'm now in my kitchen trying to find a location I like, since my beach house is too hot. So until the next one, bye.